Number 48 in the Slasher Classics collection is Darkroom from producer Niko Mastorakis. Now this movie is all about Janet, a character that's returning home from college to her family's large farmhouse filled with plenty of victims, and she is introduced at the start having lots of conversations about her boyfriend that couldn't quite make it. Is he going to be the one? Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, when surprise he turns up out the blue and it's kind of brought into the family where everybody likes him, especially Janet's sister, who makes quite overt advances towards him throughout the movie. And this, unlike a lot of the later Slasher Classics movies, really is a slasher movie. It fits into all the tropes of that with a little hint of giallo throughout it as well. We have our people in the household, we have somebody watching through windows, stalking about the house. Sometimes you get fake outs where you think it's the killer that's watching, but it turns out to be a relative waiting to give somebody a fright or to jump out, whatever. It has these kind of playful natures within the tropes of slashers, as well as having the regular ones too. And this movie has some really good things going for it. I like the look of the movie, I like the direction, I love the fact that it's very 80s in its aesthetic. Big hair, pastel colours and a large portion of 80s cheese make this movie kind of interesting to look at. And we have some things that aren't so great within the movie. For me, the characters were particularly bland. Nobody that I could really attach myself to. None that I was particularly interested in or wanted to see even survive this chapter of their lives, if they had that. And also the killer. I liked the killer's motives. I liked why they were doing it and what made them that way. Unfortunately, we only find out this information as exposition in the last scene of the movie. If this was kind of drip fed, if we had saw flashes of this leading up to it, it may have allowed us to put some information together and just made it a better rounded movie, rather than just having all of that information dumped on our laps at the end, which, like I said, is rather good. It just never gives the audience a chance to really guess or figure out who the killer is going to be. Now, of course, the blood and guts in this movie are rather pulled back. They aren't as in your face or as vibrant as you would have in such other slasher movies. There is some, however, but mostly what you see is aftermath or somebody getting a knife through the chest as they drive a car, which is a pretty good scene and one I rather enjoyed. I liked a lot of the characters and the red herrings that we had in this. Even though they're a little bit obvious, I still liked those characters, and I loved the fact that people would turn up just to be killed moments later. I always enjoy when that happens in a movie, when somebody's just forced into the story to be offed as quickly as they entered. It's got a great finale at the end of it, as we have our heroine battling against the bad person of the movie, as they have that tete-a-tete where he explains his motives, and then they have a struggling fight that goes on for a little bit throughout a house. It's really kind of fun. You even get the returning of a somewhat dead character, or someone you assumed was lost in the movie, as comes back to help out in the end. Darkroom for me was a typical slasher movie. It never really rose above that, but it wasn't a bad one. It was one that functioned perfectly fine. One that I could see myself going back and watching again. As a fan of 80s slasher movie, it fits comfortably in there under the average bracket. I'd love to know what you thought of Darkroom. Let me know in the comment box below. I'll see you next time on Man v Film.